and welcome to the 2026 season of the Antigua and Barbuda Social Security Board Junior Science Quiz Competition. It's a brand new season with a whole new set of schools and a brand new moderator, yours truly, Carla Knight. I'm very happy to be here and joining what is the greatest academic show on television. I hope you will join me as we watch our bright young minds from across 10 schools to see who will be crowned this year's Social Security Junior Science Quiz champion. Our last season's winner, St. Anthony's Secondary School, will join 9 new schools in what will be an exciting and stimulating season. So you don't want to miss any episode, so lock into ABS television every Wednesday at 6 p.m. to watch the Junior Science Quiz competition. Tonight we will have our very first encounter, which will see 3 schools from the Seventh-day Adventist. Please give them a round of applause. From the Jennings Secondary, give them a round of applause. And closest to me, the St. Joseph's Academy. These 3 schools will be facing off to see who will earn the 2 spots in the next round of competition. So, let us now meet the teams. I'll start with the team closest to me, the St. Joseph's Academy. And we have Kamari Roberts.
Good evening.
We have Ajani Purcell.
Good evening.
And they are led by Dejon Shaw, the captain.
Good evening.
Next. And next we will have the Jennings Secondary. We have Shamika Jarvis.
Good evening.
Alexia Kendall.
Good evening.
And they are led by Zahara Hunt, the captain.
Good evening.
And finally, we have the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary. We have Alyssa Edwards.
Good evening.
Ordella May James.
Good evening.
And they are led by Miss Kamaya Edwards, captain.
Good evening.
And of course, I cannot do this job by myself. From time to time, I might need the help of an expert panel of judges who will have the final say in any answer for where there may be some level of uncertainty. So I'm very happy to have a team of judges working with me tonight. We have from the Jennings Secondary School, Miss Charlene Roberts. We have Miss Aaliyah Joseph from the Seventh-day Adventist School. We have Mr. Raymond Anthony from the St. Joseph's Academy. And our neutral judge tonight from the Ministry of Education, Ms. Kendra Thomas. And of course, our timekeeper will be Ms. Aisha Lynch. You can't see her, she's behind the cameras, but she is going to be keeping time, making sure we are well on track. So, St. Joseph's, are you ready? I don't sound positive. Let's try that again. Let's try to take one more time. Are you ready? Does that sound positive to you? One more time. Come on, with energy. Are you ready? Come on, team captain. Yes. Okay, I guess the boys are a bit quiet today. Let's go over to the Jennings Secondary. Jennings, are you ready?
Yes.
That sounds a little bit better. Very good. And Seventh-day Adventist Secondary, are you ready?
Yes.
Right. So, without any further ado, let's move right into the first round of competition. This is our individual buzzer round. Now, in this round of competition, there will be 3 sets of individuals who will face off against each other from each team. Each set of persons will receive 2 questions. The first individual to buzz in with the right answer will earn their team 5 points. If the question is incorrect, the other 2 teams can buzz in with the correct answer. But however, if someone interrupts me before the question is finished, he or she will have to answer the question immediately. If the answer is correct, your team will get 5 points. If not, the other remaining teams will have a chance to buzz in and answer for 5 points. For the viewers at home, Once the buzzer is pressed, the other buzzers will automatically stop, so only one buzzer can be heard at a time. So let's test your buzzers to make sure they're working correctly. Give it a try. Good. Very good. So are we ready for the first question? In the very first set, we will have the following persons. We will have from the St. Joseph's Academy, Mr. Kamari Roberts, and he will be going up against Miss Alexia Kendall from the Jennings Secondary School, and Miss Alyssa Edwards from the Seventh-day Adventist. And here is your first question. Get ready. Give one word to describe animals that are biologically adapted to eating plants only. Seventh-day Adventists?
Herbivores.
Herbivores is indeed correct for 5 points. Second question for this set. In which state of matter are particles most tightly arranged?
Solids.
Solids is correct, indeed, for 5 points. Seventh-day Adventists quick to the buzzer there, but don't worry, there's another chance to get some points. We'll move on to the next set of individuals, and now we will have Mr. Ajani Purcell, and he will be facing Miss Shamika Jarvis from the Jennings Secondary and Miss Ordella May James from the Seventh-day Adventist. So, here are your questions. Give one word to describe carbon, oxygen, and aluminum.
Elements.
Elements is correct, St. Joseph Academy for 5 points. Well done. Here's your second question for this set. What is the scientific unit used to measure time? St. Joseph's Academy.
Second.
Seconds is indeed correct. St. Joseph's Academy scoring all 2 questions there. And now we will move on to the team captains. We will have Dejon Shaw from the St. Joseph's Academy. We will have Zahara Hunt from the Jennings Secondary. I see you making the cross there. You're a bit getting ready. And we have Miss Kamaya Edwards from the Seventh-day Adventists. Here are your 2 questions. Give one word to describe malaria, diabetes, and sickle cell anemia. This is Seventh-day Adventist.
Diseases.
Diseases is indeed correct. 5 points. And here is the last question in this first round of competition. What SI prefix means multiplied by 1,000? Seventh-day Adventists again.
Kilo.
Kilo is right for 5 points. So, before we give you the tally from the first round, we'll take a short commercial break to hear a message from our sponsors.
Life moves faster than you can imagine. Without Social Security, the poverty rate among seniors would be 4 times as high. By registering now and making your contributions, you can ensure a better life and a secure future. The Antigua and Barbuda Social Security Board, growing to provide for you.
And welcome back to the 2026 Social Security Junior Science Quiz Competition. So in the first round of competition, we had the individual buzzer round, and our students got to show off their lightning quick reflexes to see who could buzz in the fastest. And at the end of that round, the scores are the St. Joseph's Academy with 10 points, the Seventh-day Adventists have 20 points, and the Jennings Secondary School, unfortunately, have not yet gotten the board, but there's still 3 more rounds of competition for which you can score some points, okay? So we're going to move on very swiftly to the next round. This is called our clicker round. It's a multiple choice round, and there will be a total of 4 multiple choice questions in this round. You will see them on the screen. And those of you who are viewing at home, you too will see them on the screen, and we want you to participate along with us. Get out your pen and paper and jot down the answers to see if you can get it right as well. So, you will have a total of 10 seconds in which to click the correct option. Your answer can be changed at any time during those 10 seconds, but at the end of the 10 seconds, whatever your answer is, that is your final answer. A correct answer in this round will give each team 5 points. All right? So, your first question, take a look at the screen. Which of the following will not change as ice melts? A, state, B, volume, C, temperature, or D, mass? And that is time. And so, what is the correct answer there? The answer we were looking for is, of course, D, mass. D, mass. The mass will not change as ice melts. Let's try the second question. If a local restaurant is infested with rats, who is the most suitable person to handle the matter? A, the chief medical officer, B, the chief health inspector, C, the chief of staff, or D, the chief chemist? That is time. Which chief did you choose? Which is the right person in this question? What is the answer? The chief health inspector, indeed. We are correct there. Answer B is correct. Now, there's going to be a picture on your screen in the next question. So, please look at the screen. The diagram above shows a metal ball hanging from a string. Which of the following statements about the diagram is true? A, there is no gravity acting on the ball, so it hangs downward. B, there is no gravity acting on the ball, so it does not fall. C, friction is pushing the ball downwards, so it does not move. Or D, magnetic repulsion causes the ball to hang downwards. Choose the correct answer. And that is your time. So what is the correct answer there? Which option? Anybody new? Not hearing any loud answers here. What about the audience? Anybody knows the answer? The answer is A. There is gravity acting on the ball, so it hangs downward. That is from the fact that there is a string and gravity is a force that pushes it downward. Well done. Next question. And this is the last question in this round, number 4. Listen carefully, and it's also going to be on your screen. The large-scale indiscriminate removal of trees from an area is known as A, pollution, B, extinction, C, conservation, or D, deforestation. Please choose your answer. And that is time. So, please, tell me the answer for this question. The answer is? Deforestation. It seems like we all got that one right because everybody shouted out the correct answer. Deforestation. D is indeed correct. And that brings us to the end of this segment. We will now take a short commercial break to hear a word from our sponsors, the Antigua Barbuda Social Security Board.
Life moves faster than you can imagine. Without Social Security, the poverty rate among seniors would be 4 times as high. By registering now and making your contributions, you can ensure a better life and a secure future. The Antigua and Barbuda Social Security Board, growing to provide for you.
And welcome back to the first encounter in the 2026 Junior Science Quiz Competition. So in the last round, our clicker round, the teams participated in some multiple choice questions, and here are the breakdown of the scores. The St. Joseph's Academy scored a total of 45 points in that round. Give them a round of applause. The Jennings Secondary School scored a total of 35 points. And the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary scored a total of 40 points in that round. So if you do some quick math, the totals as follows are 55 points for the St. Joseph's Academy, 35 points for the Jennings Secondary School, and 60 points for the Seventh-day Adventist. It is a close match. Halfway through, and it's still anybody's game at this point. So now we're going to move into round 3 of our competition. This is called the free response or explanation round. So the answers in this round are going to be a little bit more lengthy. They're going to be open-ended questions. So each team will be given the same set of questions. So we're going to do this one at a time. And so we're going to invite the St. Joseph's Academy to remain at the desk, at the podium. And then we're going to ask the Jennings Secondary School and the Seventh-day Adventist School to please take their exit for now, and you will come back in a few moments. So the teams that have just been escorted outside the room will be escorted to an area where they cannot hear the questions being read. So, boys, each of you will receive one question each. I will read that question twice. You have 10 seconds to begin to answer that question. If the question is right, it will earn your team 10 points. However, if it is wrong or you run out of time, it will go to the team where collectively you will have the chance to try to answer it for 5 points. We clear on the instructions? All right. We will start with Mr. Kamari, is it? Kamari, here is your question. Define the term digestion. Define the term digestion.
Digestion is the breakdown of food in the body. That would work.
I think we need a little bit more than that. I'm going to go to my judges. Judges, are we accepting that? I think we need a little bit more. The judges are saying we need a little bit more than that. So we're going to go over to the team, and you will have 10 seconds in which to try to come up with your answer. And unfortunately, that is time. You were on the right path, Kamari, but we were looking for some specific words there. We were looking for the physical and chemical breakdown. So you have to be a little bit more specific. Remember, this is the explanation round, so you have to be very specific in your answer. So the answer is the physical and chemical breakdown of food into soluble substances, all right? Try to be as precise as you can in a scientific answer, all right? But no worries, we'll go on to the next question. This is for the team captain. I believe that is Dejan, right? Team captain, here is your question. Listen very carefully. If a car is traveling at 60 kilometers per hour, what distance will it cover in 2.5 hours? If a car is traveling at 60 kilometers per hour, what distance will it cover in 2.5 hours? Remember, you have 10 seconds to answer.
The distance that the car... The formula is distance equals speed over time 60 kilometers divided by 2, which is
You wanna-
30.
You want to give us a number and try your best to answer? I think we're gonna go to the team for that one, right? Go to the team and you have 10 seconds to try and remember. If a car is traveling at 60 kilometers per hour, what distance would it cover in 2.5 hours? Any answers? No? Unfortunately, the answer we were looking for is 150 kilometers. So if it's going at 60 in an hour, then in 2 hours it will go what? 120. And then if you want to find half of an hour, and it goes 60 in an hour, then half of 60 is 30. So when you put that together, you get 150 kilometers. And you always have to remember to please add your units, right? All right. So there's still some time to get some points. Don't worry. This is your last question. And this one goes to, I believe it is, remind me the name again? Ajani. Yes, Ajani. This is your question, Ajani. Explain 2 key differences between boiling and evaporation. Explain 2 key differences between boiling and evaporation.
Boiling is the heating up of water up till its boiling point, which is 100 degrees Celsius.
And
Evaporation is the change of state from liquid to gas.
another one.
And boiling does not change the state of matter, but evaporation does.
Okay, so Johnny says boiling occurs at 100 degrees, and evaporation occurs from liquid to gas, and boiling does not change the state of matter, but evaporation just does. Judges, your thoughts on that one? No, the judges are shaking their head, they're saying no, and so we're going to turn it over to the team for 5 points. Any two differences between boiling and evaporation? And that is time. Any answers? No? Boys, it seems like you struggled through this round, unfortunately. But this is a learning experience as well for you. So, 2 key differences, and they give me a list of them here, and any 2 would have been sufficient. One of them, you were on the right track, Johnny. So boiling occurs at a specific temperature, that is what? 100 degrees Celsius. But evaporation can occur at any temperature. So that's one difference. Boiling produces bubbles, but evaporation does not produce bubbles. And boiling is more vigorous, whereas evaporation is less vigorous. Boiling is quicker, evaporation is slower. So all of these are key differences that could have been mentioned in the answer. Nonetheless, boys, there's one more round. Keep your heads up. Don't worry. You still have the speed round coming up next. All right? We'll now invite the other 2, the Jennings secondary, to come into the room and ask the St. Joseph's Academy to please leave the room at this time. All right, ladies, welcome back. So this is, as we said before, the explanation round or the free response round. I'm going to ask each one of you a question, and you will have 10 seconds to answer that question. I'm going to read the question twice, and you will have 10 seconds to begin to answer that question. If the question is answered correctly, it will earn the team 10 points. And if not, it will go to the team for 5 points. All right? But I'm going to need you to show me your name tags again so that I can get your names correctly. So I'm going to begin with you, Shamika, okay? Shamika, you're going to get the first question, and then we're going to go down the line, all right? Here is your question, Shamika. Define the term digestion. Define the term digestion.
Digestion is a process of which when food is brought down from the mouth to the stomach and broken down. Yeah.
All right, judges, are we going to the team for that one, or are we accepting that one? We're going to the team for that one. So you have 10 seconds in which to answer the question for 5 points. Define the term digestion.
Digestion is when food goes into the mouth, down the esophagus, into the stomach, where gastric acid dissolves and breaks down the food.
Okay. Judges, is that good enough for us? My judges are shaking their head. You see, the thing about this question is that we're looking for certain buzzwords, certain keywords in the definition, because it's science. So science has to be precise. You are on the right track. Very good start. It is the physical, which you were describing with the breakdown of the food and swallowing, but the chemical breakdown of food as well into soluble substances that can be digested by the body. So it almost there, but just not quite there. All right? Next, we're going to have the team captain. Let me see your name again, team captain. Zahara. Zahara, here is your question. Listen carefully. If a car is traveling at 60 kilometers per hour, what distance will it cover in 2.5 hours? If a car is traveling at 60 kilometers per hour, what distance will it cover in 2.5 hours? 10 seconds.
So is
She started to answer. You can finish your answer. You started to answer in time.
distance divided by speed, so it's I forgot the equation.
Do you want to try and give us a number, Zahara?
I forgot.
You forgot, so we're going to go over to the team for 5 points. 10 seconds.
30.5.
Unfortunately, that is not correct. The answer that we were looking for is 150 kilometers. Let us try and work it out together. So the car is traveling at 60 in an hour. It's going at 60 kilometers in 1 hour. So in 2 hours, it will go how many kilometers? 60 multiplied by 2, and that will give you 120. Now if it goes 60 in 1 hour, then it must go in half an hour. It must go what? It must go half, right? Of 60. And half of 60 is how much? It's 30. So when you add the two together, you will get 150. And always remember your units in measurement, 150 kilometers. It's a learning experience, so don't worry, you learned something, I'm sure, in that question. And here is your final question, Jennings Secondary, to try and get some points in this round. And I am going to ask this too. Can I see your name tag, please? Alexia. All right, Alexia, here is your question. Explain 2 key differences between boiling and evaporation. Explain 2 key differences between boiling and evaporation. 10 seconds.
Boiling is when the water heats up, and evaporating is when the water goes down and dissolves.
So it says boiling is when the water heats up, and evaporation is when the water goes down and dissolves. I don't think that's enough, so we're going to go over to the team for 5 points. Team?
Boiling is when the water reaches a temperature of about 100 degrees, while evaporation is when the water evaporates into air.
That is your answer. Remember, I was looking for two. I'm afraid that is not sufficient because I was looking for two differences. So you have to give me one and then another one, right? So unfortunately, that we're not going to. Judges saying no. Judges are shaking their heads. So we could not award any points for that. So there's a lot of them we could have talked about. We were on the right track, Alexia. So boiling occurs at a specific temperature, that is the temperature of 100 degrees Celsius, but evaporation can occur at any temperature. That's one difference. Boiling produces bubbles, while evaporation does not produce any bubbles, so that's another difference. And boiling is more vigorous, evaporation is not vigorous, boiling is quicker, evaporation is slower, etc. So any one of those, any two of those, and you could have gotten some points. This is also about learning as well as getting questions right. So you've learned something tonight, and so keep your head up. There's still another round after this to get some more points. So now we'll invite our last team, the Seventh-day Adventist team, back into the room for the last group of answers in this round. And so this is the explanation round. So in this round, each of you will get one question, and I will read that question twice. You have 10 seconds in which to answer that question, and if your answer is correct, you will get 10 points for your team. If it is incorrect, it goes over to the team for 5 points. Also, if you don't answer in time, it will go over to the team for 5 points. So we'll start with the person closest to me and then go down the line, all right? So Alyssa, I believe you are up first. Are you ready? Here is your question. Define the term digestion. Define the term digestion.
Digestion is the taking in of foods, and the foods would be broken down. Do I have to use the bodily organs?
You can give any answer you want, you think is correct.
Okay, so digestion is the breaking down of foods, and when the foods go down, the enzymes help to break them down into smaller nutrients to separate the nutrients from the waste, and the nutrients would be passed into the blood cells and would help to give nutrients and vitamins and minerals into the body.
All right. I'm going to turn that over to my judges for their feedback. Are they going to accept that answer? Judges are deliberating. The judges are shaking their head. They're not satisfied that you were comprehensive enough in that answer. So we're going to turn it over to the team for 5 points. Any answer? No, unfortunately not. So this is the answer that we were looking for, unfortunately, is you were on the right track. You were on the right track. But remember, this is science, so we have to be very specific with our words, our terminology. And our judges are very, very on the ball tonight. They want to hear those key buzzwords. So they're looking for the physical and chemical breakdown of food into soluble substances, or the breakdown of large insoluble food compounds into small water-soluble components so that they can be absorbed into the blood. That's the answer or somewhere very close to that the judges were looking for. So, nonetheless, there's some more questions to be asked. We move on to the team captain, and that, I believe, is Miss Kamaya Edwards. Here is your question. Listen carefully. If a car is traveling at 60 kilometers per hour, what distance will it cover in 2.5 hours? If a car is traveling at 60 kilometers per hour, what distance will it travel in 2.5 hours?
15 kilometers per hour.
I'm afraid that is not correct. We're going to turn that over to the team.
In 1 hour, it's 60, so 2 hours would be 120, and half would be 150. 120 is 60.
Answers? No?
150.
You taking that one? You come in, judges? No, I'm afraid we cannot take that because remember that you have to also include the unit of measurement. So it's indeed correct 150, but you forgot kilometers, right? So you have to always include the unit. So I'm afraid I cannot award points for that. Now, this is now going to be your last question, and it will go to Miss Ordella May. Here is your question. Listen carefully. Explain the 2 key differences between boiling and evaporation. Explain 2 key differences between boiling and evaporation.
2 key differences between boiling and evaporation is that when water boils or a solvent boils, its temperature is continuous, which means it is boiling at a certain temperature, and evaporation, when the water is boiling, the water turns into gas. Meanwhile, boiling, the water is continuously at a temperature, so there's a cycle and it just keeps on going.
I'm afraid that we need more of an answer, so we're going to turn that over to the team. Explain 2 key differences between boiling and evaporation. 10 seconds. Anything, team? No? Unfortunately, we are out of time, so this was a tough round, it seems, but it is a learning experience for everyone. We are all learning together. That's the beauty of Junior Science Quiz. I'm learning too. Trust me, some of these questions I had to go and familiarize myself with them because I didn't remember them. So let me give you some differences between boiling and evaporation. One occurs at a specific temperature, as you said rightfully. Evaporation occurs at any temperature. Boiling produces bubbles, while evaporation doesn't produce bubbles. Boiling occurs within the body of the liquid, but evaporation only happens at the surface. Boiling is more vigorous, evaporation is less vigorous, and boiling is quicker, but evaporation is slower. Boiling causes cooling, evaporation does not. And any 2 of that list, and you would have gotten some points. Unfortunately, this was a really tough round, but there's still light at the end of the tunnel. There's the speed round coming up next. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back right after these words from our corporate sponsors.
Life moves faster than you can imagine. Without Social Security, the poverty rate among seniors would be 4 times as high. By registering now and making your contributions, you can ensure a better life and a secure future. The Antigua and Barbuda Social Security Board, growing to provide for you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and to those of you who are viewing from home, we now move into the final round, wow, time flies, of competition. And this is our Beat the Clock round. This is perhaps the most exciting round of the match. And in this round, our teams will have 60 seconds to answer as many questions as possible. But before we get into the round, I have to give you the scores from the last round. In the last round, we had a 3-way tie. Unfortunately, it was a 3-way tie with no points. But the good thing is that The scores remain the same as they were in round 2, since no one scored any points in that last round. It was a very difficult round, but you learned something, right? Yes. You learned something. Well done. So the scores still remain. St. Joseph's Academy at 55 points, Jennings Secondary School at 35 points, and the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary at 60 points. Now, you will have a chance to rack up the numbers, to run up the points board, because we're going to go into our speed round where you get the chance to earn as many points as you can in 60 seconds. We're going to invite again the Jennings Secondary School and the Seventh-day Adventist to leave the room, as we will begin with the St. Joseph's Academy. All right, so before we begin, let me go through the rules of this round. Firstly, which one of you is going to be my designated speaker? Is that going to be Team Captain? Yes, Team Captain Dejan is going to be the designated answerer. So we invite you, Dejan, to speak loudly as you can into the mic and clearly so that the judges can hear your answer. It is a team effort, so you can collaborate, but the only answer that I will take as the right answer will be the answer from the designated responder, who is the team captain, right? And I will only read a new question if you say an answer to the previous one or you say the word pass. So only if you say the answer or the word pass will I move on. Are you ready, boys? Are you ready, timekeeper? Let us begin. Give the chemical formula for ice.
Pass.
Which element has the symbol B?
Boron.
How many centimeters are there in 1 meter?
100.
What is the SI unit of electric current?
Ampere.
How many electrons are there in a neutral hydrogen atom?
1.
Give another name for the pistil in a flower.
Pass.
A symbiotic relationship in which both organisms benefit is called?
Mutualism.
Is water considered a renewable or non-renewable resource?
Renewable.
What term is used to describe a plant or animal species that no longer exists?
Extinct.
True or false? The palm is the sense organ for touch.
False.
Which body system is responsible for support and movement in humans?
Skeletal.
How many classes of vertebrates are there?
5.
A seed developing into a seedling is undergoing what process?
Germination.
True or false? Speed is a derived quantity.
Pass.
And that is the time. Thank you to the St. Joseph's Academy for your speedy answers, and now we'll invite you to take the leave. No, they will remain, so we'll invite you to stay, in fact, as we bring back the Jennings Secondary School into the room. Ladies in blue, are you ready? So this is the speed round, or the beat the clock round. In this round, the designated responder, who is the designated responder from your team? The team captain, Ms. Zahara. Zahara, I invite you to speak as loudly and as clearly into the mic as you possibly can so that the judges can hear your answer. And while it is a team effort so your partners can help you, I'll be listening only for your answer. And I will only be moving on if you say an answer to the question or you say the word pass. All right? Are you ready, Zahara and team?
Yes.
Okay, let us begin. Give the chemical formula for ice.
Pass.
Which element has the symbol B?
Boron.
How many centimeters are there in 1 meter?
Pass.
What is the SI unit of electric current?
Ampere.
How many electrons are there in a neutral hydrogen atom?
Pass.
Give another name for the pistil in a flower.
Pass.
A symbiotic relationship in which both organisms benefit is called?
Pass.
Is water considered a renewable or non-renewable resource?
Renewable.
What term is used to describe a plant or animal species that no longer exists?
Extinct.
True.
Extinct.
True or false? The palm is the sense organ for touch.
True.
Which body system is responsible for support and movement in humans?
Pass.
How many classes of vertebrates are there?
2.
A seed developing into a seedling is undergoing what process? And that is time. Will you have an answer? No? No, that is time. You can answer? No? All right. Thank you very much, Jennings Secondary, for a valiant effort. And now we will bring the final school back into the room, the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary. Welcome back, ladies. So this is the Beat the Clock round. You are invited to get as many answers as you possibly can get correct in 60 seconds. I will only be listening to the designated responder, who is the team captain, Kamaya. Kamaya, I invite you to speak as loudly and as clearly as you possibly can in the mic so the judges can hear your answers. Now, all three of you can collaborate to answer the questions, but the final answer must only come from the team designated responder, Kamaya. If you know the answer, say the answer. If you don't know the answer, say pass, but I will not move on until I hear a response. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, let us begin. Give the chemical formula for ice.
Pass.
Which element has the symbol B?
Boron.
How many centimeters are there in 1 meter?
Pass.
What is the SI unit of electric current?
Amperes.
How many electrons are there in a neutral hydrogen atom?
Pass.
Give another name for the pistil in a flower.
Pass.
A symbiotic relationship in which both organisms benefit is called?
Mutualism.
Is water considered a renewable or non-renewable resource?
Renewable.
What term is used to describe a plant or animal species that no longer exists?
Extinct.
True or false, the palm is the sense organ for touch?
False.
Which body system is responsible for support and movement in humans?
Skeletal system.
How many classes of vertebrates are there?
Pass.
A seed developing into a seedling is undergoing what process?
Germination.
True or false, speed is the derived quantity?
True.
Where in the body are canines found? You may answer that question.
Pardon me.
Where in the-
Mouth.
Mouth?
I didn't hear the question.
Unfortunately, I did not get a response to that, so we're going to have to. She said
I
mouth?
said mouth.
She said no. Oh, I'm so sorry. You said mouth. Mouth is indeed correct. Body, canines are found. So this brings us to the end of the speed round, the beat the clock round, and indeed the end of the first round, the first match in the first round of competition. So we shall see right after the break who did well, who did not so well, and who will walk away tonight's champions, tonight's victors. Be right back after the break.
Life moves faster than you can imagine. Without Social Security, the poverty rate among seniors would be 4 times as high. By registering now and making your contributions, you can ensure a better life and a secure future. The Antigua and Barbuda Social Security Board, growing to provide for you.
And welcome back, and we have now finished all 4 rounds. Can you believe we're at the end of the first match in the 2026 season? Yeah. Time flies, boy. Time flies when you're having fun. So, last round we had the beat the clock round, and the teams had a chance to score as many points as they could in that round. And so, remember that each correct answer is worth a total of 5 points added to their total score. So I'm going to give you the total score. I'm going to go straight down the line of the last round, and then I'll give you the overall totals, and so we'll know the results of tonight's competition. So the boys from the St. Joseph's Academy managed to score 55 points in that round. Give them a round of applause. The girls from the Jennings Secondary scored a total of 20 points in that round. And the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary scored a total of 50 points in that round. So the total scores, if you are following and you're good at tabulations, will be the St. Joseph's Academy has a total of 110 points. The Jennings secondary has a total of 55 points. And the Seventh-day Adventist secondary also has a total of 110 points. So there is a tie tonight between the St. Joseph's Academy and the Seventh-day Adventist secondary. And that means that both teams will advance to the next round of competition. So we will see you again. All right? To the girls from the Jennings secondary, you gave it your best shot tonight and you represented your school really well. We say top congratulations to you. I'm sure you learned something. And remember, there's always next year, and we hope to see you again. For those of you at home, if you enjoyed tonight's match, well, you definitely will want to be back next week again for another round of the Junior Science Quiz competition. But before we close off the competition, as is customary, we want to give our teams the chance to say a few words at the end. And so we will start this time with, start at the opposite end. We'll start with the Seventh-day Adventist secondary. You may say a few words in closing.
Good evening again. I would first like to thank God for bringing us here safely and for waking us up this morning to come and compete. I would also like to thank our opponents for putting up a good fight. And additionally, I would like to thank Mrs. Agard and Miss Joseph for helping us so much during this process. And I would lastly like to thank everybody that is on the Junior Science Quiz with me, that they came to support, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Kamaya. Next, we're going to invite the team captain from Jennings Secondary to give her closing remarks.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the Lord for all of us being here, the sponsors, everybody who held this competition. Thank you to the competitors for putting up a good fight. We had fun. We learned a lot of things here. And good luck to those who are moving on to the next competition. Hope you all have fun too. Thank you all for your time.
Very, very well said. Very well said. And now finally we will give the team captain from the St. Joseph's Academy a chance to give his closing remarks on behalf of his team.
I just want to say that I'm grateful that my team and I were able to come out this evening to participate in the competition. And I also want to give gratitude to the other teams who also participated. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the St. Joseph's Academy for that. And this, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of this year's competition. And I just want to take some time as well to say a few thank yous. Thank you to our judges for being here with us and for delivering that wonderful deliberation during those rounds. We also want to say thank you as well to the wonderful crew here, the camera crew, for making this production what it is. And finally, we want to say thank you again to our corporate sponsors, the Antigua Barbuda Social Security Board. Now, next week, we will have another round of competition for you, and we want you to come back and I'm not going to announce just yet who it's going to be. I'm going to keep that as a surprise. So you have to come back if you want to see who it's going to be. But next week, we're going to have a new round of competition for you, and we will have another exciting match for Junior Science Quiz. Thank you, God bless you, and see you again next week.
Life moves faster than you can imagine. Without Social Security, the poverty rate among seniors would be 4 times as high. By registering now and making your contributions, you can ensure a better life and a secure future. The Antigua and Barbuda Social Security Board, growing to provide for you.